What's going on, guys? It's your boy Worthy Prince coming at ya with another Diablo 4 video. I figured the best way to do the intro for this build guide is to just show you the build in action. It's kind of like when I see video game trailers, they show you like a cutscene, they don't show you the gameplay. It's like, oh god, what's the point in that? So I figured the best thing to do is just start off here with some straight up live gameplay of me playing my build. So this right here is on a tier 80 pit, so this is the equivalent of Torment 10, so it's like the end game content. We're not quite at Torment 11, 12 yet. We're hoping to kind of maybe get a bit closer to that later today in today's live stream. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, check it out. This is Torment 10. Now we're not breezing this at the moment. This isn't going as fast as I want to see it going, but we are doing it, and we're doing it within reasonable time. I think we managed to clear this pit within about 5 minutes, and that's actually not too bad. Obviously, we want to try and get that faster, and we will. But the fact that we're able to clear a tier 80 Torment 10 pit and do so without dying is very positive. Very positive. So there's been quite a few changes since the first video I posted a couple of days. Obviously, we've been on the grind. We're up to 185 Paragon now, so there's a lot more Paragon points in the Paragon trees. We've got all the boards on there now. We've got all the glyphs on. The glyphs are legendary. They're not maxed out. I think my glyphs are around level 65, so we've still got plenty of levels to go on the glyphs, which means obviously more damage. So we're looking forward to getting that. And once we start leveling up those glyphs more, we should see us being able to push through this Torment 10 pit even easier. And that's not even including all of like the gear upgrades we still have to do. We still have masterworking to do. We still have ancestral uniques to find. We still have GAs to find. We still have jewels to upgrade. We still have ancestral versions of charms to find, and also seals. There's upgraded versions. Right now I'm using a legendary. I think there is a unique, and I think there's even a purple uber version of the seals as well. So there is still lots to do as far as like upgrades are concerned. There's a lot more health and armor and resistances for us to pick up in the Paragon tree, and it's all those upgrades that are going to allow us to push into the Torment 11 and Torment 12 content. So yeah, going back to what you can see here, you can see it's going pretty well. We're defeating the enemies, which is really nice. I decided to make a couple of very important changes, which we'll talk about in a moment. One of the things I did have before was I was running the fire on the lightning ball, and also the lightning spear. I decided to change that and instead just run the fire on the lightning ball. We're not really doing the lightning ball to burn enemies and kill them. That doesn't really do that. It's more about the mechanic. It's more about just setting everything on fire on the screen. That way, when they're burning, they're going to be taking more damage from the lightning that's coming in. And having that extra lightning damage coming in, not just from chain lightning, but also from lightning spear, definitely made a big difference to the amount of damage I'm outputting. So it was a positive change, so I went for it, and that's something you need to understand with this build. It's a hybrid build. Yes, it's running fire and lightning, but it's the lightning that's doing the damage. It's unstable currents that's doing the damage. The fire is just there as a mechanism. It's just there to set enemies on fire and enable you to ramp your damage further against them. It's actually really nice. So it definitely feels very nice to play, very comfortable to play. Doing this Torment 10 pit, which I run this morning just to record for this video, it felt very, very relaxed. I didn't feel under too much pressure. I wasn't sweating or anything. I was just moving around and just attacking, killing the enemies. There was a couple of times where I had to pop that potion, and that's where Soul Brand really comes in nicely. You know, when I get into a pickle, I'm like, ooh, I hit that potion, immediately got that barrier up. It just gets me out of. It's kind of like an oh shit button, you know. I just hit it when I'm in trouble, and it gets me out of any problems. So we're getting close to the end of this pit run. Like I say, it's still under 5 minutes, so we got a really good pace going here. Things got very spicy in this third section because my favorite enemy, the one where you kill them and then they turn into electric versions that chase after you and explode, I had an abundance of that as the boss was coming up, which is always nice. But that's another real big test of how much damage your build can do. It's one thing to run the pit. It's another thing entirely to kill the boss at the end of the pit. There's been times when I've been doing builds where I was kind of strong enough to kill the mobs to get through, But then when the boss come up, it was almost unkillable because it was just super strong. I definitely found that with last season. But with this hybrid sorcerer build, I am not really having that problem. I definitely do have enough damage when it comes to fighting a boss. And you're going to see that in just a moment when this Torment 10 boss comes up in just a sec. So yeah, we're getting to the end. Treasure Goblin escaped. I didn't quite see him. It is what it is. And as you can see, these electric enemies up here, they're a pain. Then a boss is coming up. Look at the boss's HP bar. I wanted to go for him, but I realized all those electric enemies were coming after me. So I had to back off. Got another attack in on the boss. You can see chunked a lump of his life, and then the rest of his life's gone. So the boss is negligible. He's just finished. I just had to be a bit careful with those electric enemies. But that right there, guys, is the Torment 10. Now, if you like what you just saw, if you think, wow, that build looks pretty good, I want to give that a go. You want to play the higher tier content of Diablo 4, then stay tuned. We're going to go over the build now. Take a look at the gear and the Paragon boards and the skills and everything. And yeah, you can maybe try and replicate something similar to this. So without further ado, let's get into the actual build. So I'm going to go into this with the understanding that maybe not everybody saw the previous video. So I'm going to cover everything. I'm going to do it as quickly as possible because I don't want to keep you here for too long. So let's jump into it. Before we start though, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you're enjoying the Diablo 4 content, and just let you know, we stream on this channel on Twitch every single day. So if you see me around, come say hi. Okay, so let's do this as quickly as possible. Let's start off with the gear, okay? I'm going to show you what I've got. It doesn't need to be one for one, so you don't need to copy me exactly. Something in this area. The uniques are the most important thing. So first of all, we've got a helmet. There you go. It's a 4GA right now, 5GA, etc. You don't necessarily need that. But intelligence, max life armor, cooldown reduction, lucky hit chance. The aspect is dealing shock damage to close enemies, grants damage reduction. That keeps you alive. I'm using Soulbrand. I like this one. The actual runes we're using is Igni Ku, so that boosts your shield, so you get barrier, earth and bulwark. Really, really helpful to stay alive. Soulbrand for the chest plate. Gloves, intelligence, max life, attack speed, lightning damage multiplier. We're tempered, lucky hit chance. Crackling energy has a 25% chance to preserve its charge and deals 50% increased damage. You want to preserve the charge because if you're at full crackling energy on the crackling energy board at the bottom, when the little blue circles come up, then you're going to have a ton more damage. So you want to try and preserve those. So that's why that's so important. Axial Conduit is going to increase the DPS of the Chain Lightning, and we're going to go for Tam Full on the runes, giving you the chance to proc the Sorcerer's Frost Nova skill. That's pretty good. It freezes enemies, and it also goes into our charms as well, which I'll show you in a moment. The boots, we're going for intelligence, max life armor, movement speed, tempered movement speed, and then lucky hit to put vampiric curse on enemies. That gives us vulnerable to everything we hit pretty much. The main hand is a new unique I'm using called Staff of Sorcerer. It's a pretty good one, and the most important thing is the aspect. Unstable currents, which is the main driving force of damage for our build, increases your armor and resistances, and it increases your damage as well. So it's really, really good. This was a really positive change when I put this in. So great unique staff to use. One of the uniques you need, I mean, you really do need it to ramp up the damage, is Isadora's Overflowing Cameo. This is a non-negotiable. This is a really, really good unique amulet that's going to allow you to create so much more crackling energy. And it's that crackling energy that's going to reduce the cooldown on the unstable currents. When you activate this, you're going to see the damage boost. And as you start collecting the crackling energy, you're going to see a number start appearing on this square down here, okay? And you should be up into the 100, 150, whatever, when you're fighting enemies. And that's going to literally completely reset your cooldown, so you can keep unstable currents up infinitely, which means you always have the fire across all the screen. You always have loads of extra damage. Like, you need this up all the time. And Isadora's Overflowing Cameo does just that. Not only does it do that, it ramps damage and it reduces your cooldowns on other skills. So yes, absolutely needed. The ring is Galvanic Azurite. That's the other unique ring I decided to go with. It ramps damage up significantly. It's a big damage boost to the build, so I'd recommend going for that. And then the last ring, I'm using attack speed, critical strike chance, critical strike damage multiplier, vulnerable damage multiplier, and cooldown reduction. And the aspect is critical strikes with core skills, which is my Chain Lightning, increases your attack speed by 50% for 5 seconds. You want to ramp attack speed because the more attack speed you have, the more faster it's going to discharge at crackling energies, which is going to keep your unstable currents up continuously. So very, very important to push into attack speed, okay? As far as jewels go, I'm using topaz in the helmet for extra intelligence. I'm using diamonds down here for damage across all areas. And I'm using diamonds in the accessory jewelry for extra resistances to all elements. I might end up changing the weapon ones to specific lightning damage ones, because that is really where the damage is coming from. The fire's not there for damage, it's just there for a mechanism to burn the enemy so we do more damage to it. So I may end up changing out those diamonds for some lightning damage jewels later down the line. The talisman, I've gone ahead and changed it. We're not running a 5-piece set anymore for this wild lightning thing. I don't see the value in the second and the fifth, the third and fifth parts of this, really. The first part is good enough, and also putting shock skills on these is really good at the top. You can roll the stats on the top of a charm using the Herodric cube, so make sure you do that to get stats you want at the top. And then the other set we've gone into is the threefold set, because when we're activating the fire from the ball lightning and the chain lightning, we're also going to be activating meteors coming down and more ball lightning. And because we put that frost nova on our runes, we're activating a frost skill, which then triggers a blizzard. Now, not only all of that, every time you cast one of those elements of skills, you're going to be getting 30% against all resistances for each one of those skills for 12 seconds. And because we're now running, we have the ability to push all three of those elements, we're getting 90% all resistances. That's really, really good. And that's also going to help us stay alive in these high torment areas. So you want to go for this one. Now, moving on to the ability board, it has changed a little bit. So I'm just going to run down it very quickly for you. 1 point into Spark, just to put it as an enchantment down here. So we can get the killing an enemy has a 35% chance for form of crackling energy. The other enchantment is Lightning Spear, which basically means when we absorb a crackling energy, which is loads, we generate a ton more lightning spears. So you definitely want to make sure you have that as an enchantment. Those are the two enchantments. And so 1 point in there, go down, get yourself Chain Lightning. You're going to want to put all the points you can into there, all 15. And then you're going to want to go for damage bonus. You're going to want to go for critical strike chance, and you're going to want to go for power flux. And on the right hand side, you want to put 1 point into Flame Shield, go for cooldown reduction, go for duration bonus, and go for flash. So that way, when you do put your shield on, you're going to generate more crackling energy. And then 1 point into teleport, you're then going to go for weaken, electro bolt, and ferocity. Ferocity, every time you teleport, you're going to gain 2 stacks of ferocity, which is going to give you more attack speed, which obviously goes into Isadora's overflowing cameo, which then gives you more crackling energy. So again, very, very nice. Go down to the next one and put 15 points into lightning spear, and then grab projectile speed, get reverse polarity, and then go to damage bonus. I then go down, put the ball lightning on, turn it into a fire skill with implosion. I then go for multiple projectiles and go for damage bonus. You want it to have multiple projectiles because you want it all over the screen. You want them all burning. And then going down to the final one is the engine of the whole build, unstable currents. This is what the build is all based around. You then need to go to cooldown reduction. You need to go to damage bonus, and you need to go to boundless. Very important to go for boundless, because this is what's going to enable you to actually reduce your cooldown by picking up those crackling energies. And that's what keeps this up all the time. Jumping into the Paragon board, you can take some screenshots of these so you can know where you're going. There's your first board. Okay, that's the first one. The glyph is going to be what's it called? Charged. Okay, for the first one. Going into your second board, your glyph is going to be Tactician, and it's the Static Surge board you're going to go for. Okay, and then moving over to the next one. The next board is the Ceaseless Conduit board, and your glyph is the Flame Feeder. Okay, that's your third board right there. Your fourth board is going to be the Frigid Fate board, and your glyph is going to be Exploit. Okay, that's going to boost your vulnerable damage. Very nice. And then your fifth board is going to be the Burning Instinct board. I did get this. It doesn't necessarily matter. It's not really that much of a big deal getting this legendary one. I got it because it's still nice to have, but that's not the reason why we take this board. We take it because of these nodes. Damage to burning enemies, damage to burning enemies, damage to burning enemies, and more up here. Damage to burning enemies, damage to burning enemies. That way, when we set them on fire, they take increased damage from our lightning, and that's what allows us to beat those high torment enemies. All right, so that is your board. The glyph on the last board is Destruction for big critical strike damage boosts. So that's going to be that. That's that. So there you go. That is your Paragon board. I've gone through everything there. The one thing I will say is your mercenaries. Let's just jump in this quickly. Hired mercenary, for those of you that don't know, you're going to be going for Rahir for your main mercenary. That is the skill tree for Rahir. And then you're going to want to go for Varana. And it's going to be blood first when you use Chain Lightning. So when you're activating Chain Lightning, it's going to increase your attack speed again. So again, you're producing more of those unstable electric blue balls, basically. So yeah, it's the build of blue balls. It's pretty good stuff. So that right there, guys, is the build. If you have any questions about this build, if you're stuck, you need to ask me something, by all means, throw a comment down below. If you try this out and you think it's good, also leave a comment down below and give us some feedback on what you think of this build. I'm absolutely loving this. Like I say, we're clearing Torment 10 content right now, and we're going to be streaming today to do some more work on it. Like I say, I'm streaming every day at the moment on this channel and Twitch. So if you want to follow, by all means, do subscribe and like the video, all that stuff. Hope you found this build guide interesting, and I will catch you in the next one. The next time I do a video on this, we should be running Torment 12 pits. Hopefully. Okay, guys, that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed the video. Stay safe, everyone, and peace out.